Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely, talented, and fresh in from the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska wife, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, are you still jet lagged, or are you ready to roll this morning?
I woke up feeling pretty good this morning. How about you?
I feel great. The Rebels won yesterday. They're in the finals of the College World Series. We went out there, pulled them through, and now I'm ready to jump in the truck and go right back to Omaha. So I'm not flying this time. That was a nightmare. I don't know if anybody has flown anywhere in the past
couple weeks,
but it is horrible right now. And I'm telling you, Delta does not care about customer service anymore. Just throwing them under the bus. I've been a loyal Delta flying customer for years, and we've had this trip planned, and it's just a night. And I know we're not the only ones that have problems. They canceled flights left and right. We ended up going from Memphis to Detroit to being on standby to begging them for some seats to flying at the back of the bus. We made it to Omaha. The greatest thing was you make it to Omaha, it's smooth sailing. Like, that airport was the easiest airport I've ever been to in my life.
We were trying to make the game because our plane got delayed. We were off that airplane, grabbed our bags, was in a cab, and to the hotel.
And then the game.
In 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I mean, that's
made the
record
first
time.
pitch. That was Monday night when Ole Miss beat the Razorbacks for the first time. And then we proceeded to go, I don't know, how many games did we do? 5 or 6 games? And
we
crammed them all in. That's pretty much all we did. Eat, sleep, and go watch baseball. And it was awesome. I'm not going to lie. If you've never been to the College World Series, and we didn't even know that, I didn't know my team was going to be there. We bought these tickets months ago.
Yeah.
Just because Mississippi State won last year, and he's like, you know what? We're going to do a family vacation. Go to Omaha. Go to the College World Series.
Well, I knew Michael would love it.
Yeah. And so we said, we don't care who's playing. Even if it's Tennessee, we'll still watch them. And then the cards started to align. You know, it's like Tennessee got knocked out by Notre Dame. Ole Miss barely got in, and then they went on a tear, and they made it all the way to the finals.
Which is crazy.
And that's why I can't believe we had to come back home to do this podcast. You wouldn't let me do it just on the phone. We could have phoned this in and stayed.
We did see if the hotel room.
I didn't know if we'd get back.
Extend our stay. Yeah.
There was no rooms, and then flights. If we'd had a vehicle and a tent, I would have still been there. So I told you, I was like, look, Shell, I'm coming home. We're going to do the podcast. I'm driving back to Omaha. So if I can find somebody to go with me.
I bet you could find somebody.
Tickets on me. We'll find. The great thing about it is you can find tickets when you get there.
Yeah.
So we had only bought three game tickets before we went. We knew we were going to go to like 2 on Tuesday and 1 on Wednesday. Go out to a nice dinner Wednesday night. All that changed when Ole Miss started winning.
Yeah.
We was like, we got scrambling and buying tickets like on StubHub, and we found those Monday tickets and squeezed that one in. And then they played again on Wednesday night, so we found tickets for that. And then they had to play Thursday, and unfortunately, we had to travel that day. But we listened to that one on the radio. I mean, it was a blast.
Driving back from Atlanta.
Because our flight they smooth canceled this last one. It's like, we can get you from Omaha to Atlanta, but after that, we don't know when you're going home. It's like, there's a midnight flight that you could get on. You're going to be in coach again. And I'm like, I played first class seats for these, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
How are you doing this to me? And there's like, no, midnight. And I was like, is there not another option? Well, we can put you on the 3:30 the next day, maybe. And I'm like, so you're just saying I'm just stuck in Atlanta? And I said, nope, where's the rental car? He said, give us our bags. We are out of Georgia.
I'll tell you what, the rental car situation was pretty smooth.
It was very smooth, yeah.
We booked it right before we jumped on the plane.
We got on a plane, then we got on a SkyTrain, and then we got an automobile. We did our own version of planes, trains, and automobiles to get back home from this thing.
It's making me rethink
flying.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what the crazy times we're living in. The highlight of my trip was I got to go to Buc-ee's on the way back home. It's like halfway from Atlanta to Hernando.
So while we were there,
shout out to Buc-ee's.
They carry Killer Hogs products. By the way,
that's right. You can get that. You can get Dove stools. You can get Slurpees,
pajama pants,
chopped brisket sandwich. I got me a chopped brisket sandwich.
Michael bought a Hawaiian shirt. They got it all.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It is.
It was a cool Hawaiian shirt. It's got Bucky on it. But pretty much the whole time we were there, we pretty much just ate ballpark food.
That's what I went for. I wanted experience. I mean, I'm going to go back to Omaha and get the steak sometime.
Yeah.
But when I'm there, I mean, we stayed like, I don't know, it was a hotel right 50 yards from the stadium. I mean, it was right
It
there.
was so nice. It was fun.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. The food at the ballpark was great.
That is the best ballpark food
I
I've
figured that's
had
what we was
ever.
going to talk about today is
Yeah.
ballpark food.
That's all we've eaten.
That's all we've eaten for 3 days.
What was your favorite ballpark food that you had?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. That's a real tough one because it's probably going to be this foot-long, like, bratwurst sausage that had peppers and onions and kraut and bacon and jalapeno and spicy mustard. And it was, like, grilled right there to stand in the park.
It was like
And
on
no
a
joke,
black
foot
stone.
long. Like, it was hanging off the bun by, like, inch
Yeah,
or two
no,
on
it
each
had
end.
I mean, it had a decent sized bun, but
Yeah, it was.
the dog went.
That was a treat. I don't know what was that thing, like $12? But
Oh, nothing was cheap
yeah,
there.
nothing's cheap. Yeah.
I just quit looking at prices.
Best thing I had to eat, $8 Miller Lite. No, I had plenty of those too. I don't even want to look at my credit card tab. That's I'll worry about that next month. We'll worry about the tab next month and just where'd all this come from? Because I'll tell you this, no cash. Like they do not accept cash anywhere. Like even the snow cone man walking around selling snow cones to kids, you got to have a card.
They have a machine there where you can put your cash in and it will spit you out a card.
I don't even know what you call it.
Oh, that's cool.
A
It's
reverse
ATM. Yeah. Yeah.
because they no cash. The whole
What
stadium.
would that be called? MTC? Money to card? I guess. I don't know. It's reverse ATM, yeah.
I was like, life has changed.
It really has, yeah. And I guarantee you they made I didn't check because I had a card, but if all you had was cash, you could get you a card to buy stuff with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they took
Charge a fee.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fee on that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
put
yeah.
this money on this card. We don't know if your money's good or not, so we're going to charge you a fee to give you this plastic. That's really a good way to recycle stuff. You can just make recycled little blanks and have them printed out, put money on them. I don't know. It was way too easy using. I just used my phone.
I know.
You put the credit card on your Apple phone or whatever, and you just go up to the guy, and next thing you know, $20 later, you got a beer.
It's like it's free.
It's like it's free almost. You can just keep drinking them all day until the end of the seventh inning.
Yeah.
Then they will shut you off. I
had
guess
a-
that's so people sober up enough to get home.
that's what I always thought. Like at concerts, they kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
They stop selling at, a certain point.
I would kind of pre-plan that about the stretch. I'm going to go hit up 4 or 5 beer stands and load me up a line to get through those next 2 innings. So that's when you really get nervous.
That's when you want to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
had
it
a
was
lobster
fun.
roll.
Lobster roll was good. That was going to be my second. That or the sliced prime rib sandwich. I mean, I'm telling you, when we ate at the ballpark, we ate at the ballpark. We tried it all. We
Yeah.
split stuff. That's mainly how we did.
Yeah.
So that's the best. We found that's the best way to do it. If you go with somebody you like, just split it. Because, I mean, you don't need a whole hot dog if you're going to try a slice, the super nachos or the
Yeah.
lobster roll and all that. So we would get something and then, split it and then try something
So
the
you
next
could try
time.
something else. Yeah. We did have the tachitos, which
Yeah.
is tater tot nachos. And
Like
they were
barbecue style, though.
Yeah, it had barbecue sauce on it, but not barbecue
Oh.
meat.
They did have a barbecue stand. Oklahoma Joe's had a
Yeah,
barbecue stand.
They did. They had barbecue nachos, but the tachitos were really good. The only problem is the tater tots start kind of turning into hash a little
Yeah,
bit
that
when you
wasn't
start.
one of my favorites.
I thought they were good.
You got to like stuff just piled on stuff on piled on stuff.
Yeah.
It just it becomes into like a potato mush with all this stuff going on.
It does become potato hash, but the lobster roll was pretty
Lobster roll was
good.
good.
Was it a cold one or a hot one?
As a
No,
cold
it was a
one.
lobster salad on the bread was perfect. It was like this toasted, not a hot dog bun, but it was like that style.
Like a garlic
but it was
bread
flat on the
almost.
sides, and they did like a garlic butter, and they grilled it on each side and stuffed it full of lobster salad, which it had a big piece of claw in it. I mean, it was full of lobster.
Wow.
Now, $30. I ain't gonna lie. No wonder you split that
I
one.
splurged on that one.
Yeah, 30. That was the most expensive thing we bought at
Yeah.
the ballpark.
It's not any worse than like Cousin's Maine lobster. It's about the same, I would say.
Is it a $30?
Really?
Is that a
Yeah.
$30 lobster roll? I've never had one of those. That was honestly that was my first lobster roll.
Wow.
I've never had one, but now I want to go like to Maine and get one.
Yeah. I was thinking You know, a little extra mayonnaise, some king crawl,
yeah.
a little hot sauce on
You'd have
this.
fixed it right up. It was good though.
Yeah, it was. And we had plenty of dogs and brats. And
What was your favorite? They had a Polish. They had a regular hot dog.
what's the
They had a
difference?
brat. They're all, all different sausages, seasoned different.
Okay.
Hot dogs, just whatever they scrape up off the floor and stuff. I don't even know. Just salt. Floor meat and salt is a hot dog. And then a Polish, they season floor meat, put it in a casing. And then the brat's just a brat. I don't know. They're all, that's the only difference, but they're similarly shaped, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the thing they have in common. But so everything we had there was grilled, though. Like, it wasn't just steamed
Like
hot dog.
Blackstone. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, the hot dogs had grill marks. Like, they had a char griller
Oh, really?
cooking them, and that brat, it wasn't like, it had grill marks on it.
The
And I don't know if they had like grill grates on top of a flat top or not.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
look. I didn't pay that close attention. But I was impressed because most times you go to an event and you buy a hot dog, it's just an old water boiled hot dog, steamed or whatever. This was they were good.
Yeah, I think the quality of the food there was really
The
good.
people in Omaha are awesome. Some of the nicest people we've ever visited a town. I'm talking about everywhere you went around. Most places you go, I don't know, they're just tired of being there and I want to do their job or whatever.
Yeah.
No, this place was awesome. From the airport to the hotel to the taxi drivers, the Uber drivers, everywhere we went. Rocco's people. I mean, the people at the fan zone. I mean, it was like they wanted you and they were excited that you were there at the College World Series events coming to their town.
Yeah, because you're dropping serious
Oh,
cash.
They announced the day we left, I think it was 296,000 attendees so far. Wow. And they've still had they had it yesterday, which I think the attendance was down on that extra game.
Yeah, I think so.
Only 20-something thousand. But then they've got 3 more to go, possibly. Hopefully the Rebels do it in 2. But
Ole Miss going to win it?
oh, you know it. It's coming
Place to
back.
bet-
Yeah,
bet
if
this
Mississippi State can do it, that's all the proof they needed. Oh, the Bulldogs did it? Oh, we got this. They just go the next year and win it. That's how it works.
Michael's been saying since
They're probably going to win it 2 years in a row just because Mississippi State won once. We got to do a little bit better.
Michael's been saying they're going to win it all. And I was like, I don't know, buddy. All right.
He was pretty upset that one night walking out.
Yeah.
He's like, he knew they were coming back. They loaded the bases, bottom of the 9th, didn't have any outs. And I was like, all they need is 2 runs. And I mean, Arkansas tried to give it to them that night. They were both great games. Hats off to Arkansas, man. They played some good baseball. And even listening to that game yesterday, it was like, I wanted my team to win, but it's like, man, both these teams deserve to win.
They're really good.
Yeah. I don't feel like that about Oklahoma. No offense to any Oklahoma fans. I'm just a little more partial. Maybe that'll change when y'all join the SEC here in another year or so.
That's crazy that they're joining the SEC.
Oh, in Texas too.
In Texas, yeah. Oh, and
Arch
yeah.
going to Texas. He says that's what
Archie Manning
that's what I
going to
heard.
Texas, yeah.
Is it true? Is that what you've heard?
Matthew McConaughey was tweeting about it. So.
It's legit.
Yes, legit.
Guy knows what he's talking
Hey,
about.
shout out to him too. We rented a Buick. That's what our rental car was coming back home. The Buick's all right.
It was a pretty nice car. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. I just dropped it off this morning. I was like, man, this Buick's all right.
Hey, the Avis process was pretty simple.
Yeah.
Booked it on the phone right before we got on the plane, got off. We stood in line for maybe 10 minutes. But other than that, it was
Picked it up,
smooth
you're
sailing.
off. They turned you loose with it and dropped it off back in Memphis.
That's how you were able to place that bet.
Mm-hmm.
Had to go to Memphis.
That's right. I got to get me a DraftKings bet in on the Rebels today.
I thought you voted against your team you wanted
No, the rules are off in the championship like that.
I got you.
He did bet on Arkansas
Hedged them.
on the way.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You got to hedge every once in a while.
Hey, it worked out for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some. But
Well,
the loss isn't as bad if you've hedged it. If you know that, I mean, there's just some games okay, odds are this team's probably going to win because you got different pitching matchups, you got different feels on how many hot dogs they need to sell and beer, so they're probably going to let somebody. So all kinds of things goes into my thinking on that. That's a whole different podcast. A lot of conspiracy. A lot of conspiracy.
You assume that there's some man behind the
Oh
curtain.
yeah, behind it. Oh yeah, no, I believe in the Illuminati and all that stuff. The cabals, the underworld, controlling everything, even gaming. You don't think there's?
That is a whole different podcast.
At a barbecue right after dark. Coming soon.
So, we didn't really cook this week.
No, we didn't. We were gone all week. I didn't cook.
You did Father's Day. So Father's Day was
I did
last
some
weekend.
White Castles in the microwave. Does that count?
How were the microwave White Castle?
They weren't
burgers?
bad. I'm gonna lie. I mean, this was like midnight after ballpark food and beers all
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
You had to have something before you go to bed. Try to soak up some alcohol.
The best recovery from Gold Tops. White Castle
White
burgers
Castle.
microwaved.
So
They're a little bland.
we learned, like when we travel to towns, you're staying in a hotel, at least, you want some water or something like that. And Shell's like, but we know we're going to these games. So we Instacart. And that's just where they'll,
They brought us a case of water.
They bring us waters. They bring us
bag
some
of chips
snacks. And
and
Shell
stuff,
got
yeah.
some White Castle. It's like frozen White Castle
Well, we had a fridge.
in a microwave.
Yeah, and a microwave.
So you pop them in, wrap them in a paper towel first. 30
Oh.
seconds on one side, flip them over, 30 seconds on the other, let them stand 1 minute, and you've got steam as good as the restaurant.
Wow, I just throw the whole thing in there,
Oh,
bag and
there's
all.
a process to it now.
I love that we just got that process. Like something you grilled.
That's how I think on everything. You mean you don't do it like that? If I'm cooking Pop-Tarts, okay, with the toaster, we're going to set it on medium. We're going to take them out, drop them in. We're going to go down, halfway pop up. You might need to rotate, back down, nice and golden,
All right,
perfect
so-
Pop-Tart.
What's the process for the White Castle? Wrap them up.
Take them out of the pack. You got to get them out of the plastic. You don't want to heat that plastic up. It's got phenols and all kinds of carcinogenic stuff in it. If you heat it up, it might kill you.
Yeah, but I always thought it steamed the bun in the plastic.
No. Not these. You wrap them in paper towel, bottom bun down first. Now, this is from froze. Now, it's a whole different process if you've got them refrigerated.
yeah.
This is from froze. 30 seconds, 100% microwave power. Flip them over, 30 more seconds, and let them stand 1 minute. And then if you got pickles, go ahead and put your pickle on it. If you got mustard, whatever, we had ketchup, and I think you grabbed Cholula hot sauce somewhere.
It was what was
in a
on
packet.
It was what was on the breakfast bar at the hotel.
Oh, is that where it came
Yeah.
from? Oddly, there's no mayonnaise in Omaha.
Nowhere.
Or we didn't find any in the 10 blocks we were on.
Nobody had mayonnaise.
Nobody had mayonnaise.
No mayonnaise packets.
Yeah. That was one thing Shell was disappointed with. She couldn't put mayonnaise on any of her sausage.
They were good. I
Yeah.
survived.
I mean, I will say when we went to that Redbirds game, I don't think there was mayonnaise on the bar, like in front of the hot dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was a little bummed about that, but no mayonnaise in a 10-block period. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, we didn't go really low.
Yeah, we weren't
We didn't see anything with mayonnaise on it. Maybe
We
that's
weren't
for a reason. I
beating
don't know.
down doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you cook for Father's Day?
When was that?
Sunday.
Oh, I've done. Woo. I don't even remember, Shell. Did we cook something?
You cooked a roast.
Oh, yes. We went to my dad's.
Yeah.
And I cooked for them, and man, it was awesome. It really was.
It really was. It was
yeah,
good.
that seems like, man, that was last week.
Do you talk
it
about
seems like-
your
yeah.
flat iron steak?
So I got a nice meat package from Kevin at the butcher shop, and he usually sends me stuff to try out. Well, there's in this cooler, there's a big, nice flat. I mean, it was thick, and it was like an A9. I could see the A9 sticker on it. Wagyu beef. And I was like, man, and I was going to cook. My dad loves vegetables and like just pot roast. So that was what I was going to cook him for Father's Day. We were going to have pinto beans and mashed potatoes and corn, pot roast, vegetables, stuff like that, lima beans. And so I said, well, instead of doing a pot roast, I'm going to do my brisket like I did Easter, kind of pot roast or, style.
Yeah.
With the vegetables around it, the potatoes, the carrots, the onions.
It's less
all that good
barbecue-y
stuff.
and more roasty.
Yeah, and it goes with all the stuff my dad likes.
Yeah.
And so I was going to put it on the night before and do it, low
Make
and
a
slow.
good gravy.
Yeah, make a gravy to go, the onion gravy to go with it. And I opened it up to get this brisket flat ready, and there's 2 pieces of meat there, and they're like super thin. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? It looked like brisket, and then so it turns out it was flat iron steaks. It was Wagyu flat iron steaks, and I was like, man, these are going to be awesome. But it changed my whole thing up because I wasn't going to cook flat iron steaks. So I said, well, I'm going to do them kind of the same style that I was going to see how they are.
Kind of like you did a brisket
Kind
style
of like
tri-tip.
Yeah. And so I seasoned them up.
Flat iron.
I seasoned them up, hit them with some, prime beef and a little TX. That was the only 2 things I put on them. I put them on the Traeger at like 205 super smoke, super low. Because these things were, I'm talking about, they may have weighed 3.5 pounds each. They weren't. I mean, it was going to be, I knew it was a 6-7 pound flat.
They were really big.
Yeah, they were long.
Long, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for flat irons. And then
kind
they were on the thick as a flat iron, I mean, so I was like, well, I'm going to put them on. I was a little hesitant to put them on overnight because I didn't know what they were going to be like. And so I put them on the smoker, about midnight that night, maybe? Because I waited a long while after I opened them up at 7 o'clock. And I just seasoned them and put them back in the fridge, and I got them out, throw them on the smoker. Went and checked them. I don't know, I got up about 6 o'clock the next morning, Father's Day, and I went outside to check on these things. They've been on about 6 hours, and they had done shrunk down, and I was like, I don't know if I can take this to my dad's or not. I thought they're going to laugh at me, So I wrapped them up. I took both of them, wrapped them up with some beef broth, a little bit of
Did you
Johnny's.
just put them in a pan, or
No, I wrapped them in foil. I did a little beef broth, a little Johnny's French dip sauce that comes in the little jug. Poured some of that in there, wrapped them up. Tried my best to put a probe in the side of one so I could watch it. Threw it back on the smoker. So I'm gonna finish them. I'm gonna take them up to 202 degrees, whatever. Set my little ThermoWorks dot for that. And I jumped in the truck at 6:30 and went to Kroger to get a roast. I'm back to cooking roast now. And so I just did. So I was kind of in panic mode because they was counting on me to bring Father's Day lunch, and I didn't want to screw it up.
You were in panic mode.
And
you take that very seriously.
I do. I don't like to
with
mess stuff
bad.
up. Yeah. At first, I've done told them they're going to have brisket. Now I've got this. I don't know what I did to this flat iron, but it's not looking good. And so I go and find me the best looking roast that Kroger had, and they only had one. It wasn't like I had a choice. It was 6:30 on Sunday, and I was trying to get lunch ready by noon. I knew I had to cook this roast. So I grabbed the roast, come home, season it, throw it in a skillet, brown it on both sides, get it over in a pan with some au jus and stuff. And you got the oven. You jumped up, turned the oven, heated it up for me. We put it on.
We put it on 425.
Yeah, it started, and then we backed it down some. And I'm cooking roast. I've got to get my vegetables done. I had to make gravy. But in the meantime, I guess it was about, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I go out there and I check those flat irons, and they're done. They're like one of them was like 208, and the other one was like 204. I'd done overshot them some. I was like, well, I really screwed this up. And I nuked them. So I brought them inside and just set them in a pan, let them hang out. And then I guess about, 11 o'clock, we're fixing to get ready to start packing up to go to my parents for lunch, for Father's Day lunch. And I said, well, I'm going to cut these up, Shell. Let's just see what these flat irons are like.
I kept telling you, I was like, they're going to be good.
And so the roast is done. I've got the roast panned up. I've got my gravy made, and we'll talk. That gravy's awesome. But so I get these flat irons out, or what I thought was brisket flat, and I go to slice them, and it's just like the knife's just butter through them, like just smooth as it could be. And I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. And so I tried a piece, and it was like, it looked like brisket flat. It just looked half size, like a half size flat. And it would melt in your, it was juicy.
I liked it better than
had
flat.
The best, like, outside bark on it. It would melt it. And I said, man, what have I figured out accidentally? And I was like, these are unbelievable. They really were. It wasn't the pot roast brisket that I wanted to cook. It was more like a brisket, like just a Texas-style brisket. But it was a Texas flat iron is what it was, cooked like a brisket.
But it had maximum surface area, because it was
the crust was all the way around it, both sides, top side, bottom side, around the edges. It did not crumble, and it
didn't crumble.
And I know you cannot do this with go to Kroger and get a flat iron. It's because it was some of the Wagyu beef that Kevin gets down at the butcher shop. And I have no idea what those things cost because he just sent them to me to try, and I didn't know what they were. I got one. He also sent me a prime hammer of Thor, like the shank that's got the bone exposed or whatever. I got that. I got to cook too. But these flat irons, no joke. Single best flat iron I've ever cooked. The only way I've ever cooked them hot and fast, grilled, medium, or rare, medium rare, and I love them that way. This one right here, a mess up, improvised, whatever you want to call it, was probably the best flat iron I've ever cooked in my life, accidentally.
I liked it better than a brisket flat. It was.
It was amazing. And when I took it over there, I told my parents the story and told my brother the story, and they were laughing at me. Ha ha ha! Think you know what you're doing. And then I let them try that. They were like, "Oh my god!" There was like, "This is unbelievable."
It was good,
and it was so good. But the roast was good too. Now, my roast wasn't no joke. So we had 2 of these flat irons that probably, I don't know, it was probably 3 pounds of meat total after it's cooked of that. And then I had a big 3-pound roast that had cooked. We had meat galore. It was like,
we had a lot.
This was a meal that was, it was epic. My mother made all the sides. I did the onion gravy.
How do you do your onion gravy? I
start with 2 Vidalia onions. I like using the Vidalias because they're sweeter and they brown up nice. And I saute them in a little olive oil, a little butter. Just start cooking them down. Not to where they're like caramelized all the way, but they're really translucent and really soft. I like them to be that way. Then I kind of take them out of the pan. And then I started with.
Do you leave like the bits?
Oh, yeah. You put all that in the pan. And then I put in some beef broth, a little bit of Worcestershire, I put a cup of beef broth and a cup of red wine. I deglaze the pan. I add a little Worcestershire to it. I add a little bit of Johnny's to it, a little bit of that kitchen assistant, the beef. And then I took 1 can of cream of mushroom and garlic soup, and I added that.
This is a Mark Williams trick.
Yeah, I put this in like a measuring cup, and then I add a little more beef broth to the can just to kind of get it rinsed out. And I slowly start whisking that in and whisking it up to where it's not lumpy. It kind of turns it into its own little sauce. And then I start slowly adding that in to the deglazed pan that I'm doing. And I bring it up, let it come up to a nice boil, not super hard boil, but to where it's reducing, it's simmering. I cut it back a little bit, and I put my onions back in there and let it all come together, and I taste it and see if it needs anything. Most of the time, it's just cracked black pepper is all it needs because it's got plenty of salt from everything. I did season the onions a little bit with some AP and a little bit of prime beef just to keep those flavors going. It kind of wakes them up.
That kitchen assistant's got a lot of.
But the onion brings some sweetness, and then you get the Worcestershire a little bit of the Worcestershire flavors, and you get the garlic and the the onion. All those flavors go together, so it's just a brown gravy that's fortified with all these flavors. And that I probably need to write that recipe down because it's such a good brown gravy recipe. It goes with anything.
You do need to write that recipe down.
It goes with anything. It is really, really good. I mean, we served it like mashed potatoes. Then you get you some roast, and then you put your gravy over the top of it, and then you have your other beef, your flat iron on the side, and then you've got your lima beans and pinto beans and corn and green beans and what else?
Squash,
and
cornbread,
fresh sliced tomatoes, and corn on the cob.
Sounds like y'all had like Easter.
Oh man, it was. It really was. It was.
Malcolm's mom.
She goes
throws
overboard.
Down.
Yeah. When she throws down. Yeah. You talk about sides. She's a sides queen. There ain't no chick to that. Yeah. It's just straight up queen.
I agree.
You ain't gonna touch my mom on sides.
I had 5 guys.
Is that what you had for Father's Day?
Yeah, we just kept it simple. But that's crazy.
Did y'all go and sit down?
We did. We got the fancy, and then we went and saw a movie and stuff. It was fun, though. It was nice not to have to clean up and all that good stuff. That's what I didn't want to have to do. So
we got home and had to start packing and getting all of our stuff ready to get out of town early the next morning. So we didn't really do anything Sunday night.
You got a few Father's Day gifts?
I did.
You got a sandwich maker?
What did you let Michael pick? He picked out a sandwich maker and a
egg cooker.
Egg cooker, yeah, for making boiled eggs.
It was like the little ones.
I don't. Do you call them boiled eggs? They're hard steamed eggs in that thing. It's not boiled.
Yeah,
like, you don't submerge them in water, do you?
I don't know.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to play with that. They're
just don't have an Easter egg hunt. I can put them out 7 at a time.
It's like little ones that they use in the dorm.
Oh,
they're like $15 each.
He had to make that's what he made me Sunday night. He's like, he come in there, Dad, what kind of sandwich can I make you? I said, I don't know, son. Surprise me. And it was pretty good. It's like a pocket grilled cheese.
Yeah.
He put like ham and cheese and mayo and mustard in it and made a little pocket sandwich. It was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
It makes
Been a long time since I had one of those. I think my grandmother used to have a double
used to have one.
You know,
Yeah.
like 2 at a time.
Yep.
And it was like almost like a waffle iron. It was
Yeah.
black and had the big handle on it.
We had one at 30 Santa at Christmas, and everybody fought over
Yeah.
it. That was a gift.
Who
to
doesn't love
get.
Hot Pockets? It's like a Hot Pocket sandwich.
It got stolen from me.
Yeah.
Jacob
You almost
stole it.
had it.
Almost.
I bet he uses it all the time. I mean, you don't need anything. You can go get you a pack of ham, some Kraft singles, and a loaf of bread, and you've got Hot Pockets for days.
July 4th is next weekend.
It is. I've got. So when was it? We went to saw St. Louis and saw the Cardinals on the way back. They've got this magical place called Boomland.
Magical. It is dirty and
is
nasty.
Not the fireworks department. They have got a separate building that's as big as a super Walmart that is nothing but fireworks. And I'm not talking like firecrackers and sparklers and pops.
I mean, they have those
I'm
things.
talking about these $150, $200 behemoths. That's like the professional shoot. And I was like, Michael, we're kidding. I said, Mama, you stay in the car. What'd you say? Don't spend too much. Don't get too much. I said, no, we're not. We're just going to get 5 or 6 things. We came back. I got 5 or 6 things, but it took 2 buggies to get them out. That's more I'm excited about cooking. I'm not excited about cooking. Anything else, me and Michael are finna blow some stuff up. Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your dogs. It's going to be on.
You said you're going to put them on the dog.
I don't even know if it's legal. It's probably not even legal.
It is.
Is it in DeSoto County? Can you shoot them? They shoot them out there at the ball fields.
I think so.
Everybody else does it, so I'm joining in. Last year, we just kind of rode around the neighborhood and watched on the golf cart. This year, I don't know how long it's going to take to do these 6 things. It's probably going to be like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's not going to take long.
You can blow up $1,000 real quick.
Worst case scenario, you could do it in Senatobia because I know
Yeah,
Kent County's
I don't want to burn my woods down there.
Yeah.
No, we're going to shoot them over the lake. That's what I'm thinking.
It would take a long time for the fire department to.
Yeah, you ain't get it put out down there.
Yeah.
You're just going to cause a forest fire and everything.
Yeah.
Here, like, I feel like if we shoot them off the dock on the lake, chances
okay.
are, and everybody else is doing it too, nothing's going to happen. And I don't even know. I don't even know why I said this. I'm not shooting anything. I'm probably criminals. Wasn't me.
That was just.
I made all this
You
up.
just
This is fictitious.
We are going to have a little July 4th lunch up here at the office one day next week.
What are we doing? Hot dogs?
I got a can of nacho cheese.
You've got to have apple pie and you've got to have hot dogs for 4th of July.
I was
right?
going to do hot dogs and burgers.
Can we have watermelon?
Yes.
I mean, that's what I think of. When I think of 4th of July, man, it's always cold watermelon, corn on the cob, because it's when it comes in.
Yeah.
You know, the watermelons ain't got
Seasonal.
right yet. The corn hadn't got right yet, but it's time. Like, this is the week. Fresh tomatoes.
Yeah.
It is time for the sun-ripened, homegrown tomatoes to hit.
BLTs.
Oh. You just spoke my language. That's what I'm having for lunch every day this week. It's BLT week. That's as good as Shark Week. BLT week. Do y'all don't have BLT week at your house, Tyler? When the tomatoes come in?
No.
Oh, man. You never live till the tomatoes come in.
You get tired of BLTs after
After a week?
Yeah, after a week.
Well, I mean, you get 2 flats of tomatoes, and that's, what is that, 2 dozen tomatoes, and
Don't get me wrong. I love a BLT.
2 big 3-pounder packs of rice bacon and some Texas toast.
You make them really. You make some great BLT.
I know.
That one you made me
It's
last
time.
year when it was time was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did them here at the office, didn't we?
Yeah, we made
'Cause we did a
TikTok
TikTok out of it. I'd pick those up from the dude up here at AgriPro fruit stand.
Y'all had peaches recently? Peaches are right.
I bought some. So I bought some from Sam's because I didn't know if they were in yet. I did see someone say the Hernando's Farmers Market's got some really good peaches right now. We might need to go there tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I am.
If you're in Hernando on Saturday morning, go to the farmer's market. Man, they've got some good stuff. They'll have the tomatoes, they'll have the watermelons, the cantaloupes, the peaches, all that's in. Squash, yeah, squash is definitely in. We're going produce shopping in the morning
Yeah.
and getting ready for the Rebels to play tomorrow night.
So, okay. I got a plan. We're going to cook hot dogs and burgers up here, bust out the nacho cheese machine, get a watermelon,
Yep.
How are we
Put
going
it in a cooler with ice
Yeah,
and water.
yeah, we're going to get it cooled.
Probably have to get 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah. Depends on what size watermelon we
Yeah.
find.
I wish we could get one of those great big
Yeah.
fair winning ones, but you don't.
Fair winning blue ribbons.
Yeah, blue ribbon watermelon.
Nowadays, you only find
They
the
grow
little
them
ones.
truckload watermelons, what I call them.
Yeah.
As many as they can get in a box to put in a truck. You don't see that. I remember as a kid, like we didn't have bins of watermelon. You went to grocery stores and they would be on the ground, like in front of the produce stands. And I would always see them. I'd be up under the buggy, riding with my mom. But it was big, long watermelons, the striped ones, and that's what. But I hadn't seen any of those in years.
I hadn't seen
all
any
of them
in
have
a
went to
while.
these seedless round ones.
Yeah.
There's as many as they can put in the box that they set out there now. They don't just set them on the floor and put a tag on them. And they'd all be different prices back then, depending on the size of the watermelon. It's like this one might be a $4 one, when this one's a $6 one.
It's kind of like it's like one of those conspiracies too, though, because like pumpkins, I feel like are the same way. Like when I was little, there was like huge pumpkins, and I don't really see those anymore. Just
Nope,
like
there's
the
truckload pumpkins too. Yeah,
medium ones.
They all look exactly the same. Yeah.
government pumpkins.
I like
I want a homegrown, somebody that's trying to win a blue ribbon.
I like them funky looking
Yeah.
pumpkins. They're the
Cow
best.
pumpkins are the ones that are like orange and
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, not like bright Halloween orange. They're like a light puke orange. You know what I'm talking about? White and bumps all on them and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those make the best Halloween decorations.
I like the regular standard jack-o'-lantern though.
Okay, so how out of all the grills we have here at the shop, what?
It's event grill day.
That's what I was thinking.
Big event grill. That's what you're supposed to use on 4th of July.
Is it a gas grill or is it charcoal?
Yeah, no, it's got 2 gas bottles on it.
okay.
Yep, we got enough grill grates to go across it.
Okay.
It's ready to go. You having burgers and dogs or just dogs?
Burgers and dogs.
Okay. It's just going to be an event day.
Yeah.
10 up, vent grill out, cold watermelon, homemade ice cream.
You stop.
I'm thinking of all the things I remember as a kid from 4th of July. Did y'all do homemade ice cream on 4th of July?
Yes,
we
of
did.
course.
I don't think so. I
Really?
don't think I've ever.
That's a
made
thing in the
ice
South.
Oh,
Tyler.
really?
cream.
Oh, we're
What?
going to have to do homemade ice cream.
You've never had homemade ice cream?
I'm trying to help you out.
Man, oh, okay. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Never mind. Never mind. No,
Cooler
homemade,
corn? Have you ever done
Okay,
cooler corn?
give your recipe for cooler corn.
Well, you pretty much just put your corn in the cooler and pour in boiling water and
Shucked.
shut the lid.
Shucked.
Yeah. You shuck it, put it in the cooler, dump in, like get your crawfish pot out, boiling water, dump it in there, and just let it hang out and steam. It'll cook it. It don't take it long. I mean, you're talking 15, 20 minutes.
Do you add any of the like salt, sugar, vinegar?
No, you don't do all
Right,
that. No.
Because when you boil them on the stove,
I'd boil them on the stove, I do.
yeah.
We could just boil them with a crawfish pot, though, and do that. Add the vinegar, the salt, and the sugar.
You're making this way more complicated.
I'm good at that.
I know.
Well, how many ears of corn are we talking? We just need a dozen. But if we need a bushel, I'm ready to go into production.
I'm saying
We could just grill a dozen then. We got the vent grill out.
All right, that
grill
sounds
corn's
good.
too.
that's good. Let's
You
clean
can
it.
buy it already shucked if you can't find sweet corn's in. I just saw somebody post that on Facebook too. I'm staying up on my produce coming in summer. It's been a year, man. I've been waiting. This is my favorite produce time.
You also do a corn recipe where you throw it on the grill and cook it in the.
And the husk, yeah. That's a really good way to do it because it keeps it moist but still gets that grill flavor.
I think so too. I love it.
And then it
And
comes
then-
when he gets ready to come out, you just cut the end off and squeeze it from the top, and it shoots out, and all the silk and everything stays on the end, and it's ready to go.
To
Butter
me,
it
it's
up.
easier to shuck after it's been cooked like that. It just pops right on out.
Now I have had it and done it where you shuck it and you wrap the whole ear in bacon. You do it on like a flat top,
Yeah.
and you kind of turn it and let the bacon cook, and as it cooks, you get this good bacony flavor in the corn. You're not
Yeah.
crazy about it?
No.
You don't
take
like
a bi-
bacon and corn?
You take a bite of it and your bacon's flopping,
Oh,
hitting you in the face, and
yeah. You don't like that?
just
You don't like floppy bacon in the face?
I just want the corn. And
PG
butter.
show, Shell.
So okay, the vent grill. We're going to do hot dogs and burgers.
I'm getting my $450 out of this event grill just on this. We've already used it twice, but this is going to seal the deal.
What did we buy it for originally? Was it Wienerfest?
Yeah,
Wienerfest was this weekend last year.
it was because
I was sharing the trophy last year.
man, we were supposed to do Sausage Fest this year. We kind of had our own Sausage Fest in Omaha. Tried all the different ones.
So I have some questions from the community. I thought we'd go over real quick.
All right.
First off, Mitch was talking about a pulled pork bar. What are your thoughts on
I
the
love
pulled
it.
pork idea, and what ideas do you have?
Well, I'm coming with. It's mainly so you're gonna have a couple different slaws, creamy slaw and like a vinegary slaw.
Oh, a grinder slaw would
Yeah,
be really
something
good.
like that. Yeah, but I was because it's creamy. I'm thinking non-creamy. I'm just thinking like vinegar apple
Yeah.
slaw where it's kind of tart and got all those elements to go with it. So you have those, but then also
With your
pulled pork-
buns,
yeah, but also pickled red onion, different kinds of pickles. Pickles go great. Anything pickled goes great on pulled pork. So you got and so you have.
But this is your sandwich stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is for pulled pork sandwiches.
Yeah, is that what you're thinking? Are you thinking
I'm
something
saying
totally different?
you can also do tacos.
Oh,
Set you up some nachos.
Oh, you could go different ways. I was thinking like if I'm going to serve it barbecue style,
Yeah.
what all would go on a pulled pork bar?
Well, it's kind of like Memphis and May. We set out pulled pork, and we had the stuff you can make little sliders with it, but you also could do the
Nachos or tacos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. You could go a bunch of different ways.
Yeah,
with
you
it.
could. Baked potatoes,
Yeah, you could do potatoes with pulled pork.
tater tots, but
Yeah, I know fries are
gonna-
good. Like
they're not going
loaded
to stay
fries.
fresh
Well, yeah, if you got
on a bar.
that's
yeah.
right. That's right.
They're going to get soggy and cold. And
I like your idea of the tacos and making the sandwich, be able to make sliders, and sliders more so than a whole sandwich.
I
Because
agree.
if you're out somewhere and you're serving this for like 4th of July party or a birthday party, whatever kind of event, having like King's Hawaiian or little slider rolls, something like that, goes so much better because you might make if you're hungry, make you 3 of them. But if you just want to try it, sample it, move on, make you 1. Or if you want to try a taco or a nacho, you can do different things. And that way you have, the way I would do is like the meat's kind of central. That's where
Yes,
you're going to have
exactly.
a couple steamer pans going, meat and tongs, and then going, depending on which direction you're going, is how you would set your toppings
you can go
up.
Mexican this
One
way.
way. Yeah, no, for real.
Traditional this way.
Yeah. You could even set it up with pasta and meat sauce too. Like if you wanted to make barbecue spaghetti.
Ooh, that would be a good one. I
You
didn't
have
think about
you
that.
have your noodles there or any kind of pasta you want to do, and then you have your sauce, and then you add your pulled pork to the top of it, or vice versa, noodles, meat, and sauce on top.
You could already have your noodles and sauce mixed up in a
Yeah, and
pan,
that right, and then top
and
it
then
with
top
pulled
it with
pork,
pulled
and then
pork.
more sauce.
because
That would
really,
be a way to go because you got some options with pulled pork. It goes with anything.
yeah, it does.
I mean, I'd put it on a hot dog. I've done it.
Heck yeah,
Hot dog, pulled pork on it.
you did barbecue nacho dogs.
Yes. If you had, man, that's one you need to share next week, Tyler, coming for 4th of July.
That was you did it just for Royal Oak. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever shared it.
That's
yeah.
a good one. Nacho dog.
So, Anna asked, "What's your opinion on a Weber Smoky Mountain grill?"
One of
They're
the
looking to-
classic smokers you could possibly buy. It's like the Weber kettle. You can learn to run a Weber kettle. You can cook on anything. You learn to run a Weber Smoky Mountain. You can smoke on anything. It's pretty much. It takes a drum style where you've got fire down below, and you've got your food up top, and it adds a water pan element. And so the Smoky Mountain can be ran dry. You could use it without the pan. You could add
you're gonna
sand in the pan as a heat sink. I've seen people do that.
If you take the water pan out and don't have any water, it's more of a
It's going to be.
grill.
It's kind
It's
of.
gonna
It's going to
run
run. Yeah, a whole lot hotter. It ain't going to
Yeah.
take as much fire at all. It's going to run like a drum.
Yeah.
You got to keep it. You'll fight to keep it choked down. So the water helps regulate. It's got the water above the fire, and so what it does, it holds that heat down to anything above it because it's going to start boiling when it gets to 212, and that's as hot as it's going to let it get. So it does add some moisture to your cook, but it's a heat sink, so it's absorbing all that hot flame, and so it helps you stay in that smoke range.
helps you regulate.
Like if you want to cook
Yeah.
at 225 on one, 250 on one, that's how they like to cook. Now you do have to learn how to manage your fire in those. They work really great with like a pit controller unit, like a Barbecue Guru or fireboard or something like that, because you can put that fan on there and cut the grill off, and it kind of controls how much air is getting into it, and makes adjustments by how the heat's doing on the thermometer. You hook a little probe up to it, and that works really great. But I think they're fantastic grills to learn on, and it's an inexpensive way to get into the smoker.
Yeah,
because usually you can find one for, they used to be about $375, but
yeah,
I imagine they're $450, $500 now. But they make different sizes too. You can get the 18-inch, you can get the 22.5-inch.
I'm showing they're running about $419, $450.
That's what I guessed. Yeah, that's what I guessed. So that's about right. It's a great smoker. Now, do I like it as much as I like a drum? I'm a little more partial to a drum, so you could probably.
What's your cooking grate on it? Is it the same
size? Same
Weber?
size. Yeah, if you get the 22-inch, it's the same as a drum. They do have an 18-inch, which would be like a smaller drum. Nothing wrong with them. They're good smokers.
That's one grill you do not have.
Yeah, I've never had one. I mean, I've cooked on similar stuff, and I've had knockoffs. By the time everybody was cooking on those, I'd already moved on to drums and other smokers,
Yeah. That's a good Christmas gift idea.
If you could give me one like R2D2, that's the only way.
Yeah. So I thought this was a really interesting question, and I wanted to see what your thoughts were on this. So Kyle said he's been grilling for a long time, but he's just getting into slow smoking, and he's having issues with his cook times taking longer than they should. He's cooking on a Traeger Ironwood 650, and no matter what he does not get similar cook times as you do on your Traeger recipes.
Yeah.
So, for instance, he smoked almost 7-pound pork butt. Followed the video where it took you 14 hours to do a 10-pounder, and he's saying that he was cooking at 225 for 8.5 hours, and it only got to 190.
Was it? I mean, some of them aren't going to go. Like I have had that in pork butts. It won't go if you're unwrapped, like I was in that one. Sometimes they just don't want to get over that high. So it depends on the meat too. But I mean,
he's saying it's happening on a regular basis.
You got to throw time out the window. I mean, what happens to me? I don't know what humidity he's cooking at, what altitude he's cooking at.
I mean, he says,
but I mean, but time is not the factor. Give yourself plenty of time. You can always hold stuff. But I mean, it's all relative to. It's a good example to know it's going to take about this long. But if you're cooking a butt and what's 8 hours and 14 hours, yeah, that's a pretty big window, but you could have held it that long too. It's going to be done somewhere in that range. I know this, like he's cooking on a smaller one. So even though he's got it set at 225, I bet his grate temp is hotter than what mine is because mine's a little bit bigger. I got more cook space time.
Or it could be less hot.
Yeah. It sounds like his, it sounds like his is cooking hotter is what it sounds like to me.
But he's not getting it done in time.
But he didn't go 14 hours, it didn't sound like. He's had a 2-pound smaller butt.
Yeah.
And it got done.
And he was cooking at 25 at 225.
Yeah.
Which you cooked at 200. So he's cooking at a hotter temp, smaller butt, hotter temp, still taking.
I mean, if we want to speed it up, kick it up 250. That's what I would have done there. Like if I need to get it done faster, I'm going to increase temperature.
He's saying his cook times are taking him longer than what they should.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. How big was that butt?
He's just using that for an instance. He's saying on a regular basis this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, the cook time's relative. I mean, that's the best thing I can tell you on that. If it's taking longer, you got to get your temp up more.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
You might not be cooking as hot.
Yeah, as hot as you're thinking.
Yeah.
Even though that's what it says on the dial, I mean, it's the way it goes. There's a lot of factors that change the time. And that's one of the hardest things to explain to people is don't worry about time. You've got to cook to internal temperature no matter what it is and how long ever it takes. 2 pieces of meat aren't going to cook the same exact. When I do butts, they don't always. Some of them get done in 10 hours, some of them get done in 14 hours.
Yeah.
It just depends on how the cook goes and how that piece of meat wants to let go. And, what happens during that cook. Are you going through temperature changes? Are you cooking at night and then it's heating up during the day? Or are you starting out when it's hot outside and it's cooling off at night? There's a whole lot of things that go into that part of it. And the temperature, the time is always relative. I mean, it just, depends. You can't get caught up, oh, if I cook at 225, this should be done in 6 hours. You can't do, or 8 hours. You can't do that. You got to give yourself way plenty of time. And that's what I do. Like if I know I'm going to serve barbecue at night and I cook the night before, I'll hold it all day.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, it's going to stay hot in the cooler. And I've done that and showed it on video before. I mean, you'll get 8-10 hours sometimes.
I wouldn't recommend going 8 to 10. But
eight's a fact. I mean, I've got 8 all day long, especially in a smaller cooler.
Yeah.
And it's, hot outside. It's going to hold big time.
6, no problem.
Yeah. 6 all day long.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is people will think they're going to get up in the morning, put some meat on, they're going to serve it that afternoon. They're going to get this thing done in 6 to 8 hours. It's not the case.
Not always. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you had to do that, you could wrap halfway and then crank the temp up and get it done. That would work. That's what I would do.
If you were pressed for time, you can.
If I knew I was within 4 or 5
fireball it.
hours out, I'm firing it up. Raise that temp up 325, have it wrapped up with a probe in it. I'm gonna get it there quick. So, but you can't just get caught up.
Go by your
time.
temps, not time.
Yeah.
Give yourself plenty of time. Go by.
Always
time.
cook by temp, not time.
And one thing I would recommend going and getting a cheap oven thermometer and putting it on your
Or a clip,
actual
or a clip
that
that you can put an air probe in, and that's better than one of those, really.
And just see what your actual grate level temp is running.
That's right.
One more.
Hey, I'm through these all day.
Can you do beef country style ribs the same way as you do pork country style ribs? So I had to Google what beef country style ribs was.
I'm guessing it's like chuck roast cut into almost like short ribs.
It's also known as boneless chuck roast.
Yeah.
Meaty boneless ribs that work best in a slow cooker or slow cook.
That would definitely work the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be like cooking short ribs. I would get some smoke on them, wrap them up or braise them down, get them to where they're falling apart, and they're delicious.
Put a little sauce on the end.
You can. I don't sauce beef.
Yeah. What if you did them Asian flavored?
You could. That would be good. That'd be real good. But I'm thinking more beef broth, red wine, a little Worcestershire, a little balsamic in there, and let it cook down. You could add a little tomato paste to get it thickened up a little bit. Almost short rib. I mean, it's short rib style. And it's really, really, really good.
So you can kind of cook them the same way?
Yeah. So country style ribs, I did them in barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably wouldn't do that with beef just because I don't put barbecue sauce on
it's
beef.
Too sweet. Yeah.
It's more like cooking brisket, if you want to think of it as a way to cook it. Or if you go look at one of our short rib recipes, we cook the dino bones. That's the same way. You're cooking a bone. Think of it like that, a boneless dino bone.
That's a good tip. Yeah. So you could follow that recipe over.
You need salt, pepper, garlic, whatever kind of rub you want on them. Put them on, get some color on them. Now, if they're boneless, they're probably going to color up pretty fast, about 2 hours. And I would wrap them up. And I'd probably, instead of wrapping them up individually, I'd wrap them up together, put some liquid in there, or put them in a pan, just like we do the pork steaks or the country style ribs. Put them in a pan, add your beef broth, a little bit of red wine, a little bit of Worcestershire, a little bit of balsamic. You can throw whatever you wanted in there. If you want to put some herbs in there, if you want to put garlic in there, if you want to put onion in there, whatever you want to put, cover it up with foil and put it in there and braise them down. Now, they're going to need to go till they're about 210, 212 internal. You want them you want them almost falling apart. Now, you pick them up with a fork, that's how you want them.
Yeah.
You ever had short ribs served at a restaurant? That's how they are. Now, the beef rib, the dino bone, is that tender, but it's got that cartilage membrane on it and the bone holding it together.
Yeah.
When you pull it off that bone, it's falling apart. So that's kind of how you want them. And if you like them a little firmer or tougher, I would say, you could take them off at 200, but trust me, take them up to 210, 212.
When I eat a dino bone, I want to be able to pull that bone.
Yeah, you should be able
Yeah.
to. You should pull it off, and you should just be able to pick it up, and it almost flakes.
Yes.
But it's got all that good juice and melted fat in it. And those, the boneless beef ribs, they're really, really good.
You got me wanting one now. I tell you, the best dino bone I ever had was at Little Miss Barbecue in Arizona.
Yeah, those are dang good. Dang good. They're in Blacks. That's probably my 2 favorite places to get them.
Well, Malc, that's all I have for you today.
Hey, that's all I got too. We didn't. before we go, we didn't start off with mentioning about
We didn't.
our Palmer Home deal.
Yeah.
That's going on. So tell everybody about that.
We are raising money for the Palmer Home. We're trying to feed 2 families this year. Palmer Home is an organization that helps children that are in bad situations, keeps them out of foster care, helps them transition to a normal adulthood. And it takes a lot of money, to feed these families and take care of them. So we're trying to help them out. So for the top 5 fundraisers, we are doing a pig picking event. If you are one of the top five fundraisers, you and a guest get to come to the HowToBBQRight headquarters. We'll do a pig picking, all kinds of stuff.
All the sides that go with it. Shell's doing all the sides.
We'll have a lot of fun stuff going. But
I'll do the beverages and the pig, and you do the sides.
It goes until Labor Day. So we have from now until Labor Day to raise this money, and good luck to everybody.
So how do you, if you want to donate or raise money, you go to where?
HowToBBQRight /Palmer, PALMER. And all the details will be there. All the details about the event, all the details about how to raise the money. We've raised $2,251 so far.
Good.
We're trying to raise 40. So
got a ways to go.
Yeah, we got a ways to go. So if y'all are interested in that, go to howtobbqright.com /Palmer, PALMER.
And don't forget to sign up for that Townsend
State contest.
Spice and Supply State Contest that we're helping sponsor. It's going to be in Melbourne, Arkansas, August the 13th. Cooking SCA steaks, trout, and there's a kids contest. And we were told any kid wants to enter, all they got to do is sign up. Theirs is going to be paid for and taken care of. And there's pretty good prizes for this one. What is the top payout? It's like $1,500 or something like that.
Oh no! First place is $2,500.
What for a steak?
Second place is $1,000.
That's awesome.
It really is.
You don't see SCAs like that anymore.
Third place $750. Fourth is
even the
$500.
Even the trout's paying out good, ain't it?
Yeah, a lot of times ancillaries don't pay out. Heck, the trout pays out $500 for first place.
And you don't even have to catch the trout. And you ain't buying trout bait. You ain't
and
giving you trout.
The kids cook pays $350 for first place, $200 for second, and $100 for third.
What's the age limit on that? Are you checking birth certificates? I got some ringers now. I know some ringers.
That's really good. And the thing is that you don't even have to enter for the kids. Somebody's already sponsored that.
Yeah,
so.
That's good. So y'all come out. You got a good chance to win some money. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff in Melbourne that weekend. If you've never been to that part of Arkansas, it's a beautiful part of the country. And, you can't beat the folks at Townsend Spice and Supply.
Yeah.
Y'all hadn't met Shane and Lawson, their whole crew. They're some good folks.
If you're interested in that, go to statecookoffs.com and you'll find how to get signed up for that.
That's right. Tyler, you got anything before we get out of here today, man?
Nah, just if you guys make sure you join our Facebook community, Let's Get to Cooking. There's lots of like-minded pitmasters, backyard barbecuers, everybody there to answer questions, and not to mention share really, really awesome, amazing-looking recipes, and just hang out with some like-minded, cool folks.
Hey, that sounds fantastic. Y'all check out that community. We're going to be doing some more cool contests on there, too. The snake one was a lot of fun. But we appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week to kind of do a little 4th of July podcast. That one may be short and sweet because I got a lot to do next week. I'm going deep sea fishing, and I'm gonna blow some stuff up. but we will be back next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Y'all tune in to the College World Series this weekend. We got the Ole Miss Rebels going to take on University of Oklahoma Sooners, and hotty toddy go Rebs. We'll see y'all next time. We gone.